It's the last month of 2021, and we're hoping the year can finish off with a bang. While not as prestigious as November, nor as forward-thinking as October, December usually has a couple hidden gems that were delayed until the last possible minute. What does this year hold for the month? Watch and find out. Remember that PlayStation 3 exclusive called Lair? It was a dragon fighting game that basically bankrupted the studio behind the Rogue Squadron games, Factor 5. It's been 14 years since that travesty, which is plenty of time for a smaller developer to take a bigger risk. Century Age of Ashes has also been delayed more than once, but it's finally here. This free-to-play dragon brawler has no campaign. Instead, it's all about multiplayer. Take to the skies, belch out some flames, and live your Game of Thrones power fantasy. Hyper Light Drifter is one of the biggest indie games of the last half-decade. And while Solar Ash is made by the same team and shares some common elements, it's not a sequel. The developers have described it as Mario Galaxy meets Shadow of the Colossus with a sprinkle of Jet Set Radio. If this description is accurate, this is a no-brainer purchase. We're already confident in its quality thanks to the studio's prior games and the fact that it's been delayed to add polish. Now, it's just a matter of the design decisions ultimately bearing fruit. Remember the Brain Age franchise? It was a huge hit in the Nintendo DS and 3DS era when Nintendo went on its strange anti-game tangent. It's a collection of small, brain-teasing minigames that eventually spun off into Big Brain Academy. The latest from that line is called Brain vs. Brain, and it brings both online and local multiplayer into the mix. It's like a competitive IQ test that will let you prove once and for all you're the smartest person in your circle of friends. Space shooters used to be one of the most common genres in the industry, but over the last 20 years, it's slowly faded into irrelevance. Sure, we get the occasional Star Wars game or a massive, unwieldy, space-bound MMO like Elite Dangerous, but Chorus employs a supernatural bent. You play as a pilot with psychic powers, whose primary job is to get position behind the enemy and blast away. It's a more action-based approach, so flight sim purists need not apply. It does include some light RPG elements, so it's not cut completely to the bone. Let's try this one again. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker was in last month's dossier before it was delayed at the last minute for further polish. The substance of the game itself hasn't changed though. It's still the fourth major expansion to one of the most popular MMORPGs on the planet. It still includes 2 new jobs, a new playable race, 2 new cities, and so much more. Whether you're a veteran of the game or just someone who's curious, now is a great time to visit the world of Hydaelyn. 2D platformers are usually filled to the brim with whimsy. Whether it's an anthropomorphic critter taking the lead role, or levels covered in what looks like melted candy, they rarely take things too seriously. That's not the case with White Shadows. This monochromatic side-scroller has you trying to escape a dystopian hell called White City. Whether this game has something to say about racism or not, well, that's up for you to decide. But it undoubtedly tackles consumerism and capitalism in interesting ways. Many of you are already playing Halo Infinite's multiplayer. It's free to play, a ton of fun, and available now. But let's be honest, you're most excited for the next chapter in Master Chief and Cortana's ongoing saga. This time, Chief investigates Halo Zeta, where a new AI called the Weapon takes backup duty in Cortana's absence. The pair seeks vengeance against the Banished from the Halo Wars franchise after the faction defeated the UNSC in a prior battle on the Ring. But it must also investigate the mysterious auditorium and stop the nefarious plans of the Harbinger. Did we mention it all takes place in an open world? We haven't been this excited for a first-person shooter campaign in quite a while. Sometimes it can feel like VR is just a fad from 3 years ago. It came with a bang, but the games have slowly dried up since. There haven't been many big hits along the way, but shooter Arizona Sunshine is definitely one of them. The next game from its creators is called After the Fall. This 4-player cooperative zombie shooter is set in a subarctic Los Angeles. It's been in development for a long time, and is coming to just about every HMD. Can you stop the V-Army of the Dead? Five Nights at Freddy's has traditionally been a bad game that's great for streaming. It was created by one person for years, but the reins have been passed to a more competent team for Security Breach. All the common elements are here: creepy animatronics, entirely too many cheap jump scares, and a spooky kids palace. Now it just looks and plays a whole lot better. It's a Hot Topic favorite, but now perhaps it could become a favorite for serious players too. Third-party console exclusives are becoming exceedingly rare, but the Gunk certainly fits that bill. It's Xbox and PC only, and it's a brand new IP from the studio behind the popular SteamWorld games. One part Super Mario Sunshine and one part Spelunky, you play as a girl exploring a strange planet, hoping to strike it rich. You must unravel the mysteries behind the forgotten planet while cleaning its surface of gooey, goopy mess. Long-haul space travel, financial woes, and more add to the intrigue. Thanks for watching our roundup of games worth buying in December 2021. There are many more worth considering, so head to the world's most advanced gaming content aggregator at Sifted.net and discover your next favorite game. If you like what we're doing, head to patreon.com/sifted and drop us a pledge. We'll see you next month.
Enemy has your flag.